Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Charles Penick, and I'm excited to share with you a dream coming to reality. And this is the creation of Prosper Well. Let me just share a little bit about the fact that over time in my life, I've realized some of the things that I have as strengths and some of the things I have as weaknesses. And I've wondered, what is my calling? I knew ever since I was younger, there was something that I felt I was supposed to do. A little bit about that. My mom always would tell me how she almost lost me when she was pregnant with me. And she'd always say, "Hey, Charles, you have a calling. There's something special that God wants you to do." And she's like, "There's a reason why, I didn't lose you as a baby." And so I think that put something in my heart that said, "Okay, all right, God, I don't know what it is, but hopefully I'll figure it out one day." And then almost drowned in a pool. And miraculously, I don't understand exactly what happened to this day, but I remember looking at the bottom of the pool, looking up, and then the next thing I knew, I was at the top of the steps. And it just, again, as a child, it registered in my mind that there's some reason why God is preserving my life. And another time, almost rode off of a sidewalk riding a bicycle, kind of being silly, and a man appeared, literally a man appeared between where my dad and my brother were standing and myself, where I was riding the bike in front of them. And I was probably about 6 years old, and he wasn't there, and then all of a sudden he was there, and I saw him wave his cane to kind of get me to turn around. I turned around just before falling off the sidewalk, and a car sped by probably about 45 miles an hour, and I would have been hit. And so I just, from a young age, I knew there's something here. I don't know what it is, and so that's still yet to be determined. But I can tell you this: that God brought me through medical school, through many struggles. At some future point, I'm going to share a little bit more about that. And this has been a part of my story where I can see the unraveling as I get older, as I live more life and experience more things. That life is not, it's not a fairy tale, but it is definitely a saga. It's definitely an epic. And there's a story that's coming to, that's being written, and it's coming to life through the way that we live our lives from day to day. And I think what I'm learning is what we are meant to do is, through each experience, learn and then grow, and then share that, pass it on, so that we can empower one another. So that's what I'm here for. And I today want to introduce to you Prosper Well. So my goal through Prosper Well is that you can be empowered, educated, and grow into a life of freedom within your health, your wealth, your emotional and spiritual health. And I do believe that all of those things have to come together. It's very difficult to have true physical health if we are emotionally in a place of imbalance, or even financially in a place of imbalance, or if there's a strong spiritual deficit. I'm not coming to you sharing something because I've got it all figured out. Actually, I would rather say that it's because I'm in the process of learning, because of a lot of hard knocks that I have had, and things that I'm still trying to learn. And what I realize is that if we just kind of fail forward, and we learn from that, and we can share, we can all grow together as a community. So welcome to Prosper Well. I am excited to go on this journey with you. A little bit about how I got into this health space. I had parents who were always looking at natural ways to approach health and life. And so my mom would, she'd say, "Put some charcoal on that," or, "Here, take some golden seal." And it was, the first thing she reached for was usually some sort of herb, or something like that. And so I think it ingrained in my mind from a young age, and my brother and my sister, that there was probably a lot more than what we maybe were seeing in the aisles of the grocery store or the pharmacy. And so thankfully, I think that set the stage for later down the road in life. When I met my wife, I happened to walk around the corner in the gym, and bumped into a girl who had the most beautiful smile. And I was like, man, I was too shy to approach her or talk to her, but I definitely was attracted. And then lo and behold, a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, she had graduated, moved on. A friend introduced us, and the rest is history. But during the time we were dating, she kept challenging my thinking process and saying, "Hey, so what do you know about this? Or, why do you do this? Or why do you recommend this?" While I was in medical school. A lot of things I was figuring out that I didn't necessarily have answers for those things. So I'm like, okay, why is it that we do this? Or actually, what are the ingredients, or what are the things in this particular um, approach or treatment? And so it got me thinking more critically, and I really appreciate that. And that sparked a journey of asking more questions, of seeking more answers, of listening and sitting at the feet of more mentors. And here I am now. And in the last 10 years of my life, 10 plus years of my life, I would say 10 to 15 years of my life, there's been this ongoing journey of learning, and it will not stop. And my goal is, as I learn, that I will continue to share with you the things that I am bringing into my knowledge base so that we can all grow together as a community. All right. So I want to take this time today just to kind of give an idea of what we want to cover as I go forward, and then what we also want to put out there as products that can hopefully help people continue to grow on their health journey. So first off, with our podcast, Prosper Well, the original idea I had was to call it the Freedom Mindset Podcast, because I really feel that it's true that the more we learn, the more we are empowered to live a free life, and that is where actually the name Prosper Well came from. And so as we share, my goal is that we can prosper in every aspect of life. And I feel that as we learn to prosper in each aspect of life, then we can share that so the next person in our community can feel the same way. Um, so within this, what we want to do is focus first on, in every month or every 4 week cycle, we're going to look at a general wellness topic. What are some things that are just simply easy to assimilate into our daily life? What are we drinking in our water every day? What are we using to clean our home every day? What are some things that we can do to clean our bodies out every day? So things that maybe many of you know, and can continue to share and learn on that aspect, that topic. I love to see dialogue in our social media about these things, and continue to pass on what you learn. I can't tell you how much I learn from my clients. Have you heard of this, Dr. Penick? Have you ever seen this? Have you heard of this person? Have you heard of this practitioner? Have you read this book? And so it's really, that's what community is about. We learn from one another. And so that's the first set of our cycle that we want to cover, is this general wellness. How do we incorporate just things into our daily life? Second one is some of the more challenging health topics. I know that many of you out there have struggled with chronic illness, or have a family member who struggled with chronic illness, whether it's in the form of, let's say, a mold sickness, or a autoimmune disorder, or cancer, whatever it may be. So we want to attack some of the challenging health topics that people deal with from day to day life, and take some deep dives there. So that'll be our second part of our podcast cycle for every 4 week cycle. The next thing that we want to do is take a dive into financial wellness, because again, I have seen and lived this this life where I have seen my family growing up as a kid, some financial struggles there. And when things are more financially sound, there is more life and vibrancy and health in the home. Things are more emotionally well, things are more spiritually well. So financial health is a very big, important piece of our wealth and our health, and prospering. The last thing that we want to focus on, which I think is definitely the most important in the foundation of health, is that emotional and spiritual health. So the things that are maybe less tangible. It's easy to say, hey, take this supplement. But when someone is experiencing a broken relationship, there's not a supplement for that. And so this is a conversation we want to have, and bring in experts in certain fields that can give us tangible tools that we can start to apply to our life to grow in our emotional and relational health, and grow in our spiritual health. As I thought about this, and just the passion that I have to learn more in these areas, and to share what I am learning and have learned in the past decade or so, I thought of a verse that has spoken to me, and I think it's really encouraged me on my journey of being a doctor. And it's 3 John verse 2, and it says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you would be in health, and prosper, even as your soul prospers. And that to me is loaded. I think that that is what we're called to do in community, is to wish for one another, that we are living in health, in financial soundness, and that our soul, our hearts, our spirits are also prospering as well. I think it encompasses every aspect of health. As we move along this journey, I want to do my part to teach what I can. The word doctor, I went to school at Loma Linda Medical School, and after leaving there, went to Palm Springs, University of California, Riverside, and finished my residency there in family medicine, and then continued to learn in the functional and integrated medicine space. And I learned at some point along this journey that the word doctor actually means teacher. The old Latin meaning, the etymological reference is actually a word in Latin called docere, and it actually means to show or to teach or to cause to know. And I think that's a big responsibility that doctors have. Honestly, any of us who are leaders in any way, shape, or form. So if you're a leader in your home as a mother or a father, if you're a leader in your church community, if you're a leader in your city, if you're a leader at a school, I think it's the same responsibility, is that we don't just accept ignorance and let that lead us where it may, but let's take the time to learn and pass on and share more information to empower one another. And so that's the responsibility that I feel as a doctor. Is it's not just to prescribe a medication or to recommend a supplement, to write notes, which I will say that has been kind of the bane of my existence as a doctor. I was like, man, I didn't go into this to write a bunch of notes, but it's definitely part of the responsibility of anyone who is in a professional business. So now, being in this position, where I've gone through a lot of school. Don't ask me if I were to be asked to go back and do it again. I don't know that I would, but I know that God brought me through for a reason. And so it's one of those things where it is a responsibility, not to just sit here and prescribe another drug or even recommend another supplement. But let me learn so that I can share information that will get to some of the deeper roots of what's going on in someone's life. And not just give someone a fish, to use that analogy, but to teach someone how to do that. Teach someone how to fish so that they can be fed for a lifetime, so that they can learn how to live a healthy life for a lifetime. And so that is honestly what we're looking to do here with Prosper Well. And it's a big venture in some ways, but I can tell you, we live in a era of information, and there is so much information out there. And the next podcast that we do, we're going to talk a little bit about health freedom and health independence, and ways to continue to grow your health independence, so that you don't feel that you have to lean upon a system to make you well, that you can own your own health. And so I'm excited to share a little bit more on that topic. My encouragement is that through this journey that we take together, that as I learn and grow, you will learn and grow. You will inspire others to learn and grow in their journey, and all of us can be elevated to a place of living more prosperous, both health, physical health, financial health, and then spiritual and emotional health. I wanted to mention one other thing as I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to share, and the reason why Prosper Well is here, why we are launching on this venture. There's another verse, and it's something that's really rung home with me, especially over the last, I would say, 5+ years. A lot of things have been happening in the world that have made me think a lot about layers of facades, deception, things that may be caused to keep people from, again, moving forward and taking more autonomy in their health space. And so when it comes to moving forward in our health journey, one of the things I think about is knowledge is power, truly. And becomes power when you put it into action. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we do our next podcast. There is a verse in John, the book of John, chapter 8, and that's verse 32. And many people actually know it and quote it, and it's something that's rung true for me. And it's that you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. It'll make you free. And so our goal is to pass that on to you. And we want to be free in this world that thrives off of drawing from others' misfortune in order to achieve gain. We want to go against the grain with that, and empower one another to live a healthier, more prosperous life. So that's my challenge and my call to action to you, and it is my invitation to you as we embark on this journey of learning to live and prosper well. Take care.